If you watch chapter 26, The Mean Mrs. Jules, you should know the answer to these questions. All right, here's your pop quiz. What's 7 plus 4? What is the capital of England? How do you make pickles? Looks like someone got that wrong. All right, chapter 27. A pickle was delicious. I hope that wasn't any second grader covered in brine. Chapter 27, Lost and Found. Joy and Marisa were best friends. They sat down on the grass to eat their lunches, but then Marisa remembered she needed chocolate milk. She went to get some from Miss Mush. When she returned, she couldn't find her lunch. "What happened to my lunch?" she asked. Joy looked up, then shrugged her shoulders. "I set my lunch down right here," said Marisa. "You saw me, didn't you?" Joy shook her head. "I put it here, then I went to Miss Mush's room to get some chocolate milk. I had a peanut butter and banana sandwich, and there's no way I can eat a peanut butter and banana sandwich without chocolate milk." Joy shrugged her shoulders. You shrug your shoulders. Marisa didn't know what to do. "Can I have a sip of your milk?" asked Joy. It was hard for Joy to talk because her mouth was full of peanut butter and bananas. Marisa handed Joy the carton of milk. Joy took a big drink, then swallowed. Marisa looked all around for her lunch. She crawled in the dirt as she searched through the bushes. "Any luck?" asked Joy as she finished Marisa's chocolate milk. "I found it," Marisa exclaimed. Joy coughed on the chocolate milk. "You did?" she asked, then coughed again. Marisa crawled out of the bushes holding a paper sack. She sat back down next to Joy and opened it. "Is it your lunch?" asked Joy. "No," said Marisa. "Too bad," said Joy. "It's money," exclaimed Marisa. Joy's eyes nearly popped out of her head as she looked at the paper bag. It was stuffed with dollar bills, and they weren't just $1 bills. There were a few $5 bills, some $10 bills, but mostly $20 bills. We found $1 million. Joy whispered. "We?" asked Marisa. They counted the money. It wasn't $1 million. It was $20,655. "Let's split it," said Joy. "You take half and I'll take half." "Maybe I should show it to Louis," said Marisa. "Louis!" exclaimed Joy. "Are you crazy? Let's spend it. We can buy a skateboard or a bicycle or a horse or a fancy car or an airplane." "I like taking the bus," said Marisa. "You could buy ice cream," said Joy. "All the ice cream you ever want for the rest of your life." She knew Marisa loved ice cream more than anything else in the world. Marisa smiled as she thought about it. "No, I better show it to Louis. He'll know what to do." "You'll just get in trouble," warned Joy. "Louis will think you robbed a bank. You'll go to jail for the rest of your life." "Louis knows I'm not a bank robber," said Marisa. "But what if the bank robber finds out you have the money? Then he'll come after you." "Oh, I didn't think of that," said Marisa. "You better give it to me," said Joy. "Louis will protect me," said Marisa. She walked across the playground. Louis was talking to Terrence. He said, "If you ever tie Leslie's pigtails to the tetherball pole again, I'll—" "Louis, look!" said Marisa. She held the paper sack up to his face. "No, thank you, Marisa. I'm not hungry," said Louis. "It's not my lunch," said Marisa. "Look inside." Louis took the bag from her and looked inside. "Very nice," he said, then gave it back to her. "Now I want you to go untie Leslie and tell her—" He suddenly stopped talking and blinked his eyes. He looked at Terrence, then at Marisa, then at Terrence, then at Marisa, and then at the paper sack. "Let me see that again," he said. Marisa gave him the bag. "Hey, what about me?" asked Terrence. "Get lost, Jack Frost," said Louis. Terrence ran away. "Did you rob a bank?" asked Louis. "No, I found it in the bushes," said Marisa. "I believe you," said Louis. "We'll have to put it in the lost and found." "I know," said Marisa. "Whoever lost it is probably very sad." "But if no one claims it in 2 weeks, you can have it," said Louis. He took the bag of money and headed to the office. Joy was waiting for Louis at the door. "Hey, Louis," she said. "I lost a bag full of money. Have you seen it?" "Help!" Leslie screamed from the tetherball court. A week later, Marisa was eating lunch alone. She was eating a piece of sweet potato pie. Joy was crawling around in the dirt looking for more bags of money. "Marisa," said Louis, "I'd like you to meet someone. This is Mr. Finch." Mr. Finch was an old man with white hair and a long white beard. He shook Marisa's hand with both of his hands. "It's your money, isn't it?" asked Marisa. Mr. Finch nodded. "It was my life savings," he said. "For 50 years I made pencils. I got a penny for every pencil I made. I don't like pencils, but finally I saved enough money to quit my job and do what I always wanted to do. What's that? Asked Marisa. I'm going to open my own ice cream parlor, he said, then started to cry. When I lost that money, I thought I'd have to start making pencils again. Marisa cried too. Here, I want you to have this, blubbered Mr. Finch. He gave her an envelope containing $500. It was the second largest amount of money Marisa had ever had. And I will give you free ice cream for the rest of your life at my ice cream parlor, he promised. Thank you, said Marisa. No, thank you, said Mr. Finch. I'm so glad someone as kind and honest as you found it. There are so many dishonest people in the world. It's good to know there are still good people, too. They hugged each other. Joy crawled out of the bushes. Hey, who's that? She asked. This is Mr. Finch, said Marisa. It's his money. Look, he gave me a reward of $500, and I'll get free ice cream for the rest of my life. Well, what about me? Joy demanded. Don't I get anything? Oh dear, said Mr. Finch. I didn't realize there was someone else involved. Marisa would have never found the money if it wasn't for me, said Joy. Why, what'd you do? Asked Louis. I stole her lunch, Joy said proudly. Mr. Finch gave her a pencil.